First we want the Rahul Ji program.
Let me start. So, Vanakkam. I welcome all the media persons and thank you for coming for this press meet. We have senior leaders Dhanush Kodi, Aditya ji and Ramasubbu ji, Manamalai ji, and also our corporation president Shankar Pandian ji with us amongst other leaders. So as you are aware, our beloved leader, respected Rahul Ji Gandhi, is coming on a 3-day visit of the districts of Tuticorin, Tirunelveli, Tenkasi and Kanyakumari. The people of Tamil Nadu have given a historic response to Rahul Ji's tour from Coimbatore to Karur district. The nation has witnessed. Since we were part of the entourage, we saw with our own eyes, even travelling from one scheduled point to another, on the way villages, people standing on the road, waving, and as is Rahul Ji's nature, he used to stop the vehicle, meet the people, several Mahilas also doing aarti. So it was like a homecoming. And 2-3 points Rahul Ji made very important. I just want to repeat what he said. Is that Rahul Ji said that I want to work as a soldier of the Tamil people in Delhi. And Rahul Ji said that the history, the culture, the language of Tamil people is under threat from the anti-Tamil BJP government at the center. And under his and Sonia Ji's leadership, the Congress is committed to stand with the Tamil people. And so, this bonding which was seen during Rahul Ji's trip, we are feeling the excitement and enthusiasm amongst the people just by the thought that Rahul Ji is coming again in these 4 districts. I have been here for reviewing the preparations, organizational preparations. I was in Tuticorin yesterday. I went to Tenkasi. We have reviewed Tirunelveli. After this press meet, I will be going to Kanyakumari, Nagarcoil. And I can tell you all preparations are in place. And everyone is looking forward to Rahul Ji's visit. Now this visit has several perspectives. As you have seen, Rahul Ji's tour programs has got scheduled reception points, spontaneous reception points which he stops himself when he sees the public people on the way, and also his interaction. In this tour, he will be having interaction with the advocates in Tuticorin. He will be meeting the salt pan workers also in Tuticorin. There will be a public meeting in Naguneri. Next day there will be an interaction with the college professors in Tirunelveli, St. Xavier's College, and also in Tenkasi, Pulayankudi. There will be an interaction with small traders, agriculturists, small weavers, cottage industry people. And the third day, in Kanyakumari, Mulagu Modu, interaction with students at St. Joseph School, and also a fisherman boat rally. which is at Kalia Kavilai.
Alangulam is also sir.
Alanguma. There are several points of reception. Alanguma is one of them. I am not going into the details of the reception points because they are quite many. So this interaction and reception points, this will be the schedule of Rahulji. And yeah. There are several such points. Yeah. So that point also he will be given a welcome. He will be going. So basically, Rahulji's tour program will strengthen the bonding which the Gandhi Nehru family has. Esteem and respect and love and affection for the people of Tamil Nadu. And they have always felt that this is their family. Now, related to that, as I said, all preparations are in place. All our workers, under the guidance of the local senior leaders, our district Congress presidents, office bearers, state office bearers, TNCC functionaries are working round the clock. Today, Dinesh Gundurauji also has come. Alagiri ji also is coming. Trinakar sir ji will come in some time to meet all of you. Now this is about Rahulji's tour. Some other points also I want to cover. Yesterday, the Prime Minister, we read in today's papers, the Prime Minister spoke about corruption and he attacked the opposition about corruption. It is very a great irony. First of all, Prime Minister never finds time for Tamil Nadu or Puducherry. It is only during election time, Lok Sabha election, Assembly election, that he remembers about Tamil Nadu. All his policies, the outlook of the BJP government at the center is anti-Tamil Nadu, anti-Puducherry, which means anti-Tamil. Several welfare funds, infrastructure funds, which were earmarked for Tamil Nadu and Puducherry when the Congress UPA-led government was there, were shifted to other BJP-ruled states by the Prime Minister. They kept quiet about it. We have seen a murder of democracy taking place in Puducherry. Just with 10-15 days left for the code of conduct to be imposed, the BJP instigates and destabilizes the duly elected government. After 5 years, not only Puducherry, Tamil Nadu, nation has witnessed, during these 5 years, duly elected Congress government was not allowed to function by the LG. Every welfare initiative, every development initiative of Chief Minister Narayan Swamiji and his cabinet was stalled, blocked by the LG, then LG, Kiran Bedi, at the behest of Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah. That time Prime Minister never thought about development and progress, for which yesterday he gave a long speech in Puducherry and in Coimbatore. Tamil Nadu people know that almost all the cabinet ministers of Tamil Nadu are facing corruption charges, accusations. I understand that even a list of these corruption charges was submitted to the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu. No inquiry. In fact, there is a talk in political circles that the sword of inquiry is hanging on the heads of EPS and OPS by the BJP government at the center. That is why they totally succumbed to the pressure of the BJP government at the center and never took a pro-Tamil Nadu stand. Chief Minister, EPS, claims to be a farmer leader. We have seen his photos doing farming and showing himself, portraying himself to be a farmer. But till date, he has not spoken against the BJP government's anti-farm laws. What is the pressure on the AIDMK leaders? Is it this This corruption charges which they don't want the BJP to inquire. Even during the CAA agitation, you have seen thousands of people of Tamil Nadu across the country were on the road protesting against the CAA. But EPS, OPS were quiet. They supported the BJP government. What was the pressure? Is there a quid pro quo arrangement between BJP and AIDMK? That AIDMK will follow the diktat of Modi and Shah, and in return the BJP government will not conduct an inquiry. You are seeing everywhere opposition leaders are targeted. BJP is using the ED and the IT, Income Tax Department, Enforcement Directorate, CBI as the frontal wings of the BJP party. But in Tamil Nadu, no inquiry. So Prime Minister Modi has no locus standi. Even his cabinet, central cabinet, there are some ministers who have rape accusations against them. No inquiry. We have seen during COVID times, no relief was given either to Tamil Nadu or to Puducherry by the central government. Even during the cyclones, not once Prime Minister, Tamil Nadu was affected, major part of Tamil Nadu was affected by cyclone, Puducherry was affected. Prime Minister has time to attend marriages of big industrialists and attend functions of film stars. Not once he visited to meet the poor farmers and the agriculturists and the fishermen who were affected by the cyclone. No appropriate relief was given by the Prime Minister. I wonder, Chief Minister went on a picnic to foreign countries. He claimed huge investment is coming. But till today, which big project, which big plant, which big factory is coming, no one knows the details. Why are they hiding these things from the people? One doesn't understand. So all this, today we are witnessing when the AIDMK government knows that they are going to go out of power. For 3 years, Chief Minister EPS in political circles was perceived as a Salem CM, restricted to Salem. Now we find he is declaring several populist measures. These are only with an eye on the coming polls. Election focus declarations being made by the Chief Minister, relief, whether to farmers, whether to students, whether the retirement age. When one knows that he is going out of power, they are doing it. But what is the financial position of the state? Loans amounting to 5 lakh crores are on the head of this government. The revenue deficit is 41,417 crores. In the last 10 years, this AIDMK government has borrowed 4,68,648 crores. This is the condition, and the government is organizing relief. There is no money in the treasury. They are organizing. This is all fake, bogus. People know that this is just with an eye on the election. Another important issue two issues I want to bring to your knowledge. One is that there has been a surge in the COVID cases in the last 8-10 days. Several states we have seen, Delhi, Kerala, Punjab, Maharashtra, even Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, several 8-10 states there is a surge. This is a serious matter. But I want to draw your attention why this is happening. If you go back to 2020, in the month of February when the COVID spread, it was our leader Rahul Gandhi ji who publicly forewarned the Prime Minister, please don't take COVID lightly, it will have disastrous effects. But Prime Minister Modi was busy in organizing meetings for the then President of USA, Trump. We saw what happened in Ahmedabad, which spread all over the country. And now, when the vaccine is available, I just want to share with you that only 1.23 crore vaccine doses could be given to the target group of healthcare and frontline warriors as against the target of 3 crores. Why this is happening? Because they restricted it to only government hospitals. In industry, Prime Minister says that government has no business to be in business. He is promoting hum do hamare do. Every field, government is selling all PSU units. All profit-making units being sold. Airports are being sold. Now LIC is being sold. BPC company is being sold. Every profit-making unit is being sold. Prime Minister says government should not be in enterprise. That is look out of private. Then why the Prime Minister did not take the help of the private hospitals for dispensing the COVID vaccine to the citizens of the country? Now they are saying they are doing. But past 1 month, Prime Minister is giving vaccines to all foreign countries. He is more concerned about foreigners than our own Indian brothers and sisters. Who will be responsible if this surge goes up? Already 2020 year has gone waste. Again you want this to happen? Even the Covaxin app, there is having lot of problem. The frontline warriors also did not receive message. Lot of complications. Government has not been able to put that in place. Why? Totally patchy performance. So this is a very serious issue. So that is why we demand that first India and Indians should be taken care of. Government should put a proper machinery, and private hospitals and other units also should be involved. And immediately the citizens, of course those with comorbidities, should be given first. But all the citizens should be covered first by giving the vaccine. We have seen Prime Minister's foreign diplomacy, total failure. Only picnic tours to foreign countries. No country is standing with India when the China occupied our territory. All our neighbors, whether Nepal, Pakistan, every neighbor is against us. Total failure of the Prime Minister's foreign diplomacy. And at this time, he is sending the vaccines to all other countries. Okay, you give to our Indians, let India complete first. All citizens should get. Then you give. But he is giving priority there, which is the wrong policy. Most important issue which is affecting the common man of this country, common citizen, is the rising fuel prices. Prime Minister, we remember when the UPA government was in power and the price of petrol was only 45, 50, 55, 60. This same Prime Minister and BJP leaders, yesterday one channel was showing 8-10 years back what these present rulers, when they were in the opposition, what comments they made. And today they are quiet. They are not saying anything. It is really shocking that when the international crude prices are falling, why Indian fuel prices are increasing? You say that market forces should determine. Yes, okay. If the international crude prices are rising, the petrol price will rise, we understand. But when the international crude prices are falling, why government is not passing on the benefit to the citizens of the country? This is the question which arises. And final point I want to make is that we have recently seen Prime Minister Modi's name given to the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Stadium in Ahmedabad. People of the country are asking, what is the contribution of Narendra Modi? Is his contribution bigger than Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel? This government came to power claiming to be a game changer. Before coming to power, they claim to be game changer, but they are only name changer. Every scheme started by the UPA Congress-led government, they changed the name. They criticize the Aadhaar card scheme. They criticize other schemes. They criticize the FDI policy. But when they came to power, they are implementing the same decisions of the Congress just by changing the name. And today we have witnessed, we totally condemn this name changing of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Is it because they are taking revenge on Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel? Because when he was the Home Minister, he had banned the RSS? Then the BJP should clarify on this. What is the contribution? Some people are joking, Prime Minister is a spinner, he is telling lies, feku, jumlas, that is why his name is kept. Then you keep on some new place, why you are changing the name of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel? So these are the issues, and
First of all, we want the YouTube program to Rajasthani.
when it will come, when we will come, we will share it. So now our senior leader Dinakar Sarji has come. So I will take your leave. I am proceeding to Kanyakumari. So I thank you everyone, all of you. It is always a pleasure meeting the media of Tirunelveli, and thank you so much.